This video is a treat for archaeology enthusiasts. No matter where or how deep we dig, the discoveries never cease to amaze. From ancient civilizations to long-lost cultures, remarkable artifacts continue to surface, like hidden treasures left behind by our ancestors for us to uncover and admire. Right now, archaeological excavations are underway across the globe, and these are some of the most extraordinary finds unearthed in recent times. The Macon treasure, so named because it was discovered in the city of Macon in 1764, is a world-renowned Roman silver hoard that has captured the imagination of historians and archaeologists for centuries. Originally consisting of an extensive collection of gold-silver coins, exquisite jewelry, plates, and silver figurines, the treasure suffered significant losses through theft over time, with only 8 statuettes and 1 silver plate remaining today, all housed in the British Museum. These artifacts provide a fascinating glimpse into the ancient Roman world and its religious practices. The statuettes, likely used for public or domestic worship, depict deities such as Mercury, Luna, Cygnus, and Jupiter. Of particular intrigue is the goddess of chance, Tutela, shown with divinities and symbols associated with the 7 days of the week. Adding to the allure of the treasure is a large circular silver dish. Despite the loss of so many of the original items, none of which have ever been recovered, the Macon treasure stands as a testament to the artistic and cultural richness of Roman Gaul during the tumultuous crisis of the 3rd century. Finding human bones is like Christmas for an archaeologist, but for a small child it must be horrendous. We hope that none of the children who started finding bones in their playground in Bordeaux, France in 2006 were too traumatized by what they found because it's proven to be a priceless discovery. When the remains were first investigated in the year of their discovery, they were found to come from the Bell Baker culture, who were at their most active during the early Bronze Age. That was exciting enough, but a more recent and more extensive investigation of the site has revealed that the practice of burying human remains there went on for a lot longer. The earliest remains recovered from the site are from around 3600 BCE, but the most recent is from approximately 1250 BCE, well into the Iron Age. Strangely, although the site is close to the rivers of Garonne and Dordogne, and only a few short miles from the Atlantic Ocean, isotope analysis has shown that the people buried here didn't eat any fish or seafood. The mound is barely 2 feet deep and isn't near any major landmarks, so why it was used as a grave for thousands of years is unknown. Thousand Buddha Mountain, also known as Qianfo Mountain, is a magnificent and sacred site located in Jinan, China. As the name suggests, the mountain is adorned with numerous Buddha statues, creating a breathtaking spectacle for visitors. Rising 935 feet above sea level, the mountain is a prominent landmark in the region and a significant religious pilgrimage site. The mountain's rich history dates back more than 1,400 years, with the first statues carved during the Sui dynasty. Over time, successive dynasties added to the collection, resulting in over 1,000 Buddha statues adorning the slopes and caves of the mountain. Each statue possesses its unique expression and posture, showcasing the diversity of Buddhist art. Aside from the stunning statues, Thousand Buddha Mountain offers captivating natural beauty. Lush forests, meandering streams, and serene walking trails provide a peaceful escape for visitors. The mountain also houses ancient temples and pagodas, where devotees and tourists can immerse themselves in spiritual practices and witness Buddhist rituals. The site's cultural significance extends beyond religious worship. Thousand Buddha Mountain has been recognized as a national key cultural relic and a national geological park, emphasizing its dual importance in history and natural preservation. Not so long ago, archaeologists were reasonably sure that they could roughly identify the time in which people first arrived in the Americas. Now they're not so sure. Discoveries keep popping up and poking holes in the established historical narratives, and this late 2019 discovery at Cooper's Ferry, Idaho has poked a bigger hole than most. An ongoing dig at the site has uncovered tools used in butchering animals and carving stone, and radiocarbon dating suggests that they're between 15 and 16,000 years old. Previously, it was thought that the Clovis stone tools previously found in America were the starting point of human civilization there, but they only go back 13,000 years. We are now going to have to accept that there were humans at Cooper's Ferry 2,000 years before that, and start looking for more evidence of who they were and how they lived. It raises the distinct possibility that the earliest American settlers came across the sea, perhaps from Japan, where tools very similar in style and dating from around the same time have been discovered in the past. Objects buried in shallow earth are often found by civilians or archaeologists who know where to look. But when something has been buried much more deeply, it often takes major construction works to bring them to the surface. That was the case with this collection of ancient Greek artifacts discovered during the construction of a metro network below the streets of Thessaloniki in April 2019. The most astounding discoveries are ornate statues of Aphrodite, the famous ancient Greek goddess. There are also rings, gold wreaths, and countless pieces of pottery. So many artifacts have been discovered that the metro project had to be delayed while archaeologists came in to extract everything from the ground safely. Aside from the objects, researchers also discovered the Decumanus Maximus stone road that would have been the main street in the city during the 6th century and the remains of what may have been the city's first ever Christian church. Taken together, the artifacts demonstrate that Thessaloniki was once a powerful trading city and center of religion, and likely remained so for 1,000 years before falling from prominence in the medieval era. As of the beginning of 2023, the total number of artifacts recovered is in excess of 300,000, and the project is still ongoing. The mystery of the Jaguar God Cave in Mexico's Chichen Itza is one that attracts a lot of conspiracy theories. Farmers discovered the site by accident in 1966, but the first archaeologist to investigate it, Victor Segovia Pinto, ordered for it to be sealed up with rocks and boulders after he'd completed his initial investigations. The cave stayed off limits for half a century before experts were finally allowed to return in 2013. Inside the cave is a whole collection of immaculately preserved ancient Mayan artifacts, including several sculptures of Balamku, the Mayan jaguar god for whom the cave is named. Accompanying the sculptures are priceless decorative plates, incense holders, grinding stones, and other items from the same era, but nothing that would explain why Pinto wanted to make sure nobody else could go in there after he'd seen all he wanted to see. Did he take something from the site? Was there something else in there that the authorities didn't want the world to know about? Sadly, it seems we'll never find out. The Scipio family tomb, also known as the Tomb of Scipios, holds an enduring legacy that enchants its visitors to this day. Located in the heart of Rome, this remarkable monument served as the eternal resting place for an esteemed Roman patrician family whose fame as military leaders and ancient authorities secured their place in history. The tomb's origins can be traced back to Lucius Cornelius Scipio Barbatus, a consul in 298 BCE, who intended it to be his final resting place. He was a hero of the Second Punic War who defeated Hannibal. Although his writings have been lost, his extraordinary achievements are celebrated through fragmentary inscriptions, archaeological remains, and coins. However, over time, it became the necropolis for the entire Scipio family, housing generations of their remains. Rediscovered in 1780, the tomb has undergone changes since then, and its current entrance differs considerably from the original. Inside, visitors can marvel at the artifacts and fragments of sarcophagi, or at least those that haven't been moved to the Vatican Museum. Among the treasures found in the tomb is the fascinating head of Aeneas, a 3rd century BC artifact reflecting Etruscan and ancient Greek influences. The sands of Egypt are still hiding many tombs from the country's ancient days of empire, and not all of them are worth reporting when they're discovered. This one, found in Saqqara in late 2018, however, definitely is. It's approximately 4,400 years old, and as far as experts can tell, it's never been broken into, robbed, or otherwise interfered with since the day it was sealed until now. Because of that, the bright colors on the walls of the tomb, which is said to belong to a well-respected priest by the name of Waity, haven't faded over the years and in many places are still in pristine condition. Finding a tomb in condition this good is extremely rare, and Egyptologists say that this is the single best example for at least 3 decades. The hieroglyphs above the entrance to the tomb indicate that Waity was closely connected to King Neferkare, who ruled during the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. Among his many duties, he was the royal purification priest and inspector of a sacred boat. The tomb, which is 20 feet below the sand, is divided into 5 separate shafts. They're being opened slowly and carefully one at a time. One of them will presumably contain the sarcophagus of Waity himself. Located near Hochdorf-Anrans in Germany, the Hochdorf chieftain's grave is a remarkable Celtic burial chamber dating back to the Hallstatt culture period, somewhere around 530 BC. Discovered in 1968 and extensively excavated between 1978 and 1979, this burial site offers valuable insights into ancient Celtic customs and society. The burial mound originally stood at an impressive height of 19 feet and had a diameter of approximately 200 feet. Over time, erosion and agricultural activities reduced its size to a mere 4 feet, making it barely visible. Inside the burial chamber, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a man believed to be around 50 years old. This distinguished individual was laid to rest on an elaborately adorned bronze recliner with 8 wheels. The burial treasures found alongside him indicate his status as a Celtic chieftain, including a gold-plated torque, bracelets, a birch bark hat, a bronze and iron dagger, and luxurious clothing. Of particular interest were the thin, embossed gold plaques that were once part of his disintegrated shoes, demonstrating the intricate craftsmanship of the time. The chamber also contained a cauldron decorated with lions, imported from Magna Graecia, which was originally filled with an astonishing 105 gallons of mead. A few years ago, the local authorities of Karnataka, India decided to lower the water levels of a reservoir in the area. They weren't sure what they'd find as the water ebbed away. But it's fair to say that they could never have imagined a scene that may as well have come straight from the science fiction franchise Stargate. Anyone who's familiar with Stargate will recognize that the 10 precision-cut circles in this rock formation look like the dial-home device. But the site predates Stargate by hundreds of years. Known as Sarlsling, this has now become a focal point of activity for curious archaeologists. The strange circles aren't the only strange finding there. There are also several carvings and markings on the rocks nearby. But sadly, hundreds of years of water running over the rock has weathered them so badly that it's impossible to decipher their meaning. We can't even make a good guess at how the circular depressions were made. Normally, we would suggest that fairly advanced rock cutting technology would be required. But given how long the rock has been underwater for, that ought to be impossible. Situated in the beautiful landscape of Derbyshire, England, the Bull Ring is an intriguing and significant prehistoric henge monument. Dating back to the Neolithic and Bronze Age, this site is estimated to be over 4,000 years old. The Bull Ring consists of a circular earthwork enclosure with a diameter of about 200 feet, encircling a central stone circle. Originally, the stone circle comprised approximately 30 large limestone blocks, of which several standing stones are still visible today. These stones, weighing several tons each, add to the enigmatic allure of the site. While the exact purpose of the Bull Ring remains a subject of speculation, much like most of the ancient stone circles in Europe, it's believed to have held great ceremonial or ritualistic importance for the ancient communities that thrived in the region. The sheer size and construction of the monument showcase the impressive skills and knowledge of the early inhabitants. Exploring the Bull Ring offers visitors a unique opportunity to connect with the ancient past, marvel at the enduring stone structures, and ponder the mysteries and significance of this captivating archaeological treasure. We always knew that some of the people of ancient Greece lived in wealth and opulence, but only recently have we found out that some of them had so much money that they chose gold leaf tombs as their final resting places. Only 2 gold leaf tombs have been discovered so far. They're in Pylos, and they're approximately 3,500 years old. The occupants of the tombs were buried with thousands of valuable objects, ranging from jewelry to weapons. They may even be connected to the mysterious Griffin warrior who was discovered not far from Pylos in 2015. Whoever these people were, we've never found anyone else in Greece who has afforded this kind of lavish treatment as part of their burial rites. The fact that the domes that once covered the tombs collapsed hundreds of years ago may have helped them to remain unknown until now. Had the tombs been easy to find, they would probably have been robbed. Just as strange as the treasures and the gold leaf is the presence of 16-pointed star designs on some of the jewelry. The symbol was used a lot in Greece 2,500 years ago, but until now we had no record of it being used 1,000 years prior to that. High above the traditional village of Osmington in Dorset, England, an extraordinary sight captures the imagination and pays homage to a forgotten era. Behold the grandeur of the Osmington White Horse, a magnificent hill figure etched into the limestone of Osmington Hill in 1808. Standing proudly in the South Dorset Downs, this iconic masterpiece portrays King George III astride his noble steed, becoming an instantly recognizable landmark visible for miles around. Stretching an impressive 280 feet in length and reaching a towering height of 323 feet, the Osmington White Horse showcases the artistic prowess of its creators. Though it has undergone restoration over the years, with some controversial episodes, its appeal remains intact. From a playful addition of a unicorn horn to meticulous efforts to restore it to its original form following a well-intentioned but badly executed restoration attempt by a television show in 1990s, the Osmington White Horse continues to captivate visitors and locals alike. Designated as a scheduled monument, this historic treasure serves as a testament to the royal heritage and community spirit that exists in this part of England. It's said that this was the king's favorite area for horse riding. It's not hard to see why. The evolution of our species is still shrouded in mystery, and experts are unable to say for sure how long some of our sister species survive alongside Homo sapiens. Thanks to a discovery made in late 2019, we now know that one of them, Homo erectus, lasted for a lot longer than we previously thought. The first Homo erectus lived 2 million years ago, and as far as we know, they were the first humanoid species to walk on 2 legs. Now, new dating evidence has shown that there were still Homo erectus in Java, Indonesia, 100,000 years ago. That means that Homo sapiens and Homo erectus were alive on the planet at the same time. The Homo erectus remains that have been tested and dated were first discovered during the 1930s. But fresh analysis of both the bones and the site they were discovered in, led by the University of Iowa, has shown that they're far more recent than anyone imagined. It also means that the species survived for more than 1 million years. Instead of being a chain in the link of evolution, they may have been an altogether different branch. Pavilion Cave in Swansea, Wales, also sometimes known as Goat's Hole, is one of the most fascinating but least publicized archaeological sites in Europe. The cave is 35 feet tall, 25 feet wide, and has a natural chimney. It's also the place where the oldest evidence of ceremonial burial in human history was discovered in 1823. An archaeological exploration of the cave in 1822 turned up nothing of significance. But another expedition in 1823 turned up a human skeleton, with the bones painted with red ochre. The archaeologists who found the skeleton identified it as female, but they believed it to be the body of a woman who'd passed away during the Roman era. It's far older than that. When technology improved and it became possible to test the bones, scientists discovered that this person died more than 33,000 years ago and was actually a man. He was about 21 years old when he died and had previously been in good health, living on a diet of fish, horse, reindeer, roots, and berries. The skeleton is now on display in the University of Oxford Museum, where it's still incorrectly labeled as the Red Lady of Pavilion. The enormous palace built by Emperor Nero in Rome 2,000 years ago is hardly a secret. Everybody knows it's there, and it goes by the name of the Domus Aurea, which translates into English as Golden House. Somehow, though, in all these years, nobody noticed a secret chamber underneath the palace until restoration works revealed it by accident in 2019. Now known as the Sphinx Room, the chamber is decorated with dozens of paintings of animals, some real and some mythical. Centaurs are picked out in shades of red and ochre, accompanied by Pan, the goat-legged god, and humans playing instruments to make the centaurs dance. For some reason, there's also a warrior with a shield and sword trying to fight off a panther. The name of the room comes from the one lone depiction of a sphinx, the chamber's largest mural, dominating all around it. Nero was hated during his own lifetime, and his palace was deliberately partially destroyed, buried under dirt, and built over after his reign came to an end by way of a violent revolution. Perhaps that's why this hitherto unknown chamber was so hard to find. Nestled among the picturesque surrounds of Rügen Island in Germany, the Great Dolmen of Devaseden stands as a testament to the ancient past. This megalithic tomb, estimated to have been constructed around 3500 to 2800 BC, is a remarkable feat of Neolithic engineering. The dolmen consists of 4 massive upright stones supporting a massive capstone, creating a chamber that would have served as a final resting place for the deceased. What sets the Great Dolmen of Devaseden apart is its sheer size and impressive architectural design. The capstone alone weighs an estimated 40 tons, showcasing the immense strength and ingenuity of the people who erected it. Stepping into the chamber, one can't help but be awed by the grandeur and mystery that surrounds this ancient structure. As you stand in its presence, you can almost hear the whispers of the past, envisioning the rituals and ceremonies that once took place within its sacred walls. The Great Dolmen of Devassidon offers a captivating window into the rich history and cultural heritage of our ancestors, reminding us of the enduring power of human creativity and reverence for the departed. Here's a final plot twist about the Great Dolmen, though. No human remains have ever been found there. Tragically, the occupation of parts of Syria and Iraq by ISIS has led to the destruction and loss of countless priceless historical buildings and artifacts. Now that ISIS has been driven from a land, archaeologists are working on recovering whatever they can from the devastation. In the process, they're occasionally coming across something brand new. As an example, here are a series of ancient Assyrian rock carvings that have come to light in northern Iraq, appearing to show gods and supernatural beings riding mythical beasts. The carvings are around 2,000 years old and were found toward the end of 2019 in Fida, just south of Duhok, and around 300 miles from the capital city of Baghdad. Although carvings like this have been found before, the last set to bear any similarities was discovered 200 years ago, making this a rare and welcome find. The carvings have been made in the bedrock of what was once a canal and take the form of reliefs. It's now hoped that further inscriptions and carvings might be found below the dirt and soil left by the canal, and so the site could reveal even more in the years to come. Mount El Hermel, also known as the Pyramid of Hermel or God's Pyramid, is a beautiful ancient monument located in the Baalbek Hermel Governorate of Lebanon. This enigmatic pyramid, situated atop a hill, is a remarkable sight visible from a long distance. Standing between 64 and 88 feet tall, it features a base with 3 steps made of black basalt and 2 massive limestone blocks. Following a restoration project carried out in 1931, the pyramid exhibits intriguing reliefs, including depictions of deer, a hunting scene, and wolves attacking a bull. The monument's origins have sparked speculation, with theories ranging from ancient Greek or Assyrian construction to being a symbol of hunting prowess for Syrian royalty in the 1st century BCE. Surrounding the pyramid, evidence of a Shepherd Neolithic archaeological site has been discovered, providing valuable insights into the region's Neolithic revolution. Excavations have revealed flint tools, including scrapers, borers, and cores, showcasing the skills and activities of the ancient inhabitants. Despite facing damage from vandalism and graffiti over the years, Camus El Hermel continues to intrigue researchers and visitors alike, inviting visitors to explore its historical significance and marvel at its enduring presence in the Lebanese landscape. One of the most remarkable discoveries made thus far in 2020 is this monument in Peru, which has been waiting for someone to come and find it for more than 2,000 years. The sprawling structure, covered all over with mystical swirls, concentric circles, and terrifying teeth and fangs, has been hidden by jungle in the country's north and is in an area that's difficult to access by foot. That inaccessibility has been key in keeping its secrets for so long. 3D scanning of the carvings have revealed details that are difficult to see with the human eye and suggest that the fangs are associated with a mysterious feathery feline figure that the people who lived in this area once worshipped as a god. Puzzlingly, the rock is sedimentary and isn't native to the area, and so the 1-ton block must have been dragged here from somewhere else. Given that it's 10 feet wide, 5 feet thick, 2 feet tall, and so heavy, that wouldn't have been an easy task. This must have been a very sacred place to those who worshipped the feathery god. But as they had no form of writing, it's hard to decipher the finer points of the carvings. In a thrilling discovery that took place close to Harald Bluetooth's fort in Denmark in late 2022, a metal detectorist has unearthed not just one, but 2 hoards of Viking silver. These remarkable findings, including around 300 pieces of silver, 50 coins, and cut-up jewelry, shed new light on the reign and religious ambitions of the influential Viking king. The treasures were discovered by a local archaeology group surveying a farm near Furkot, the ring fort built by Harald Bluetooth in the late 10th century. Excavations revealed that the hoards were originally buried beneath 2 now-lost buildings, strategically split apart to mitigate the risk of losing everything at once should an attack or disaster occur. Among the silver pieces are distinctive hack silver, formerly lavish jewelry transformed into a tradable commodity. The most intriguing aspect is the presence of Danish coins featuring crosses, symbolizing Harald Bluetooth's conversion to Christianity and his efforts to unify the Viking tribes. Archaeologists are eager to return to the site later in 2023, hoping to unveil further insights into the fascinating Viking Age structures that once stood there. In late 2018, a farmer on the Greek island of Crete had a truly bizarre experience. He was driving in his car and went to park it beneath an olive tree, but the ground below him began to sink when he turned off the engine. He briefly feared for his life, but he'd actually made an astonishing discovery. Right beneath the place he'd chosen to park his car was a long-forgotten 3,400-year-old Minoan tomb, and he'd found it totally by accident. The farmer poked his head into the hole in front of his car, saw pottery, and immediately called in the experts from the local heritage ministry. They verified his finding. An 8-foot deep, 4-foot wide tomb, including 2 coffins, a bowl, and 14 amphorae. The style of the coffin immediately marked out as dating back to the Bronze Age. A stone wall had kept it secret for all these years, but a recent pipe leak in the area had softened the ground, and the weight of the car was all it took to crack the tomb open. It's not exactly how Lara Croft would go about her tomb raiding, but it worked. Sirkap, an ancient city located in Taxila, Pakistan, offers a fascinating glimpse into the rich history and cultural heritage of the region. Dating back to the 2nd century BCE, Sirkap flourished as a vibrant center of trade and commerce along the Silk Road, connecting the Indian subcontinent with Central Asia and beyond. Originally established by the Indo-Greek ruler Demetrius, Sirkap showcases a unique blend of Hellenistic and local architectural styles. Its layout reveals a well-planned city with wide streets, intricate water supply systems, and impressive structures such as palaces, temples, and stupa complexes. One of the remarkable features of Sirkap is its fusion of Greek and Indian cultural influences. The presence of Greek-style columned halls, sculptural reliefs, and Corinthian capitals alongside Indian motifs and architectural elements showcases the cross-cultural exchange that occurred in this cosmopolitan city. Excavations at Sirkap have unearthed a wealth of artifacts, including coins, pottery, sculptures, and inscriptions, providing valuable insights into the daily life, religious practices, and artistic achievements of its inhabitants. Today, Sirkap stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, inviting visitors to explore its ruins and marvel at the architectural accomplishments of the ancient world. Here's another brand new discovery from January 2020, a primitive form of sauna in Mexico City that's around 700 years old. It would be more accurate to call this structure, which would have been used by ancient Native Americans, either a steam bath or a sweat lodge. The people of the era referred to them as Timos calls and used them for a variety of purposes. Doctors brought the sick here in an attempt to heal them, and there's also some evidence that women came here to give birth. The steam bath is in a historic area of Mexico City known as La Merced and is thought to have been part of Temiscalcitlan, a district of Tenochtitlan, the early Mesoamerican metropolis that would eventually go on to become the Mexico City we know today. Also at the site are the remains of a grand house that was built during the 16th century and a tannery that opened on the site 100 years after that. The entire area is a tower of cultural and historical layers into which the more you dig, the more you find. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and you will be the first to know when a new video comes out. Thank you for watching and see you soon.